Friday. It has arrived here at Woodbine. We've been counting down this day for our good friends on the Tbred side of the game all year long as they have the Breeders' Crown, so all the best to our colleagues there. But here is the appetizer with the 7-race program. We have Lisa and we have Jeff on the sets of Woodbine Racing Live, and I did get a giggle out of you last night.
Why?
Because Lisa recently purchased a new automobile, and it's very, very fancy. In fact, it's so fancy that she can start the car now on her phone.
I can, yeah.
And it was a wise move because by the time we left last night, it was chilly.
Freezing. You know what else I could do? I could put the heat up on it, on my seat heat, which I didn't set high enough. I got it, I'm like, oh, come on, so I should have hit it 3 times, I guess. But yeah, what a neat thing to have. I mean, I know you have it with the caddy and all, but can you turn your seat heat on?
I can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It can drive itself. No, it can't. But the only guy hotter than the temperature, which was not all that hot, was Fraser Abley yesterday. What a night he had. He won 3 on the program, and favorites won 2 on the card. We had some price along the way, didn't we? Like Diva's Ghost was a bit of a surprise winner.
Bling the money home, that's still a surprise to me. Yep, $28. Steve's Ghost, $25 basically. I almost got Juicy Hannah home in the last race. Just couldn't get there in time, but there you go with Sid and Ryan Munger, though, getting a win in the last race on the card. That was Nikita's gem.
I think Ryan's serving days coming up because I was looking at some of the races on Thursday coming up, so I think he's going to be serving some days. Which is a bit of a shame now because he's got a lot of momentum going right now. You know, a lot of riders like Fraser's going good right now too. You know, with no Sahin now, a lot of people are going to get more and more business.
Well, look at Flores. Last week was a great week for him. He won a pile of races. I think it was like 7 or 8 races last week as well. So, yeah, we got that. And then we got to get out of here, Jeff. We got to start that car because we got to get home to watch the Jays tonight.
Do you know who's throwing out the first pitch?
I do not. I'm going to ask about that. Is it Joe
Carter? Gaston. Joe Carter's doing the next game.
Is he? Yeah, okay, cool.
Cito Gaston. I feel like somebody's been in my chair. I feel very low. I feel like Goldilocks and the 3 Bears when the Bears come back.
It wasn't me.
Somebody's been in my chair.
Wasn't me, buddy.
Maybe my posture's terrible. I don't know.
It could be.
That's a possibility. But anyways, let's get the clock rolling and get down to business and do some handicapping on today's program of racing. And we start things off with a race that was to be on turf, now on the main track in a mile and 16th. And we do have a field of 6. If you like first-time geldings, we got 2 of them for you in here, Swiftlet and Royal Presence. And then we have a Sean Smullen trains on Royal Presence. And that one's a good price right now at 6 to 5. Does service even matter for King Rosso? I mean, this guy's had so many chances.
You know what? I'm going to try and beat him here tonight with the 2 first-time geldings because that's one of my favorite moves. So I've used them in the 1-2 spot, that being Swiftlet from the DeRusso barn and the 5 Royal Presence, which is the Sean Smullen horse. Good to see Sean back training again. He's got a few horses for Chiefswood. He's doing a lot of the work up at the farm as well. But King Rosso, I think, is the horse we're going to try to beat in this spot. He is the favorite right now at 8 to 5. You're getting a good price on other horses in this race. And Swiftlet gets Jose Campos back aboard. I thought Campos got some good run out of him on the turf last start out. Now keep in mind this race was originally scheduled for the grass, but it's now going to go on the main track, but everybody's going to stick around. I don't know what our possibility is of being on the lawn over the weekend, Jeff, because it's supposed to get really cold at night.
That's the problem. It just doesn't dry out, right? So you get rain. It takes days for it to kind of dry out. I hope maybe the stakes can stay on.
Yeah, it would be nice.
That would be nice. But they don't have to because they're Ontario side
Exactly.
races, so.
And, you know, safety is key as well.
100%.
But today, you know, when I left my house, it was gray and dark. Yeah. And when I got here, it was bright and sunny. And it was lovely for a bit, but now gray skies.
So you brought it with you?
Unfortunately, it followed me.
Why? Why, Lisa? Why? You had a good day handicapping last night, and now you're all cranky.
Well, I'm not cranky. I just, you know, like yesterday I brought a rainbow, and I can't do that 2 days in a row.
That's true. That's true. So Swiftlet for both you and I put Toronto City second to my picks. I'm going to go 1 and 3 in there, but I don't mind Royal Presence, but by any means. Nice to see Sean get back in the winner's circle. He's had such a good career. You know, he's had all kinds of different hats.
Yeah.
You know, he's been a trainer, he's been an assistant trainer, he's been a farm manager. Like he's done literally everything. One of the nicest guys in racing as well. Let's get to topic number 2, the pick 5 or the pick 6. I did not realize how big this carryover
Me neither.
is when it comes to pick 6. Until producer Mike pointed out on the script here, $82,000 we're up to now. So we're going to go 7 now on the main and a field of 13. Now, I have a bit of a theory that I want to pass by you here on Little Red Dommy, and I want to see if you buy it or not. You know, we often talk about this time of the year, you know, a bit of a suspect drop and stuff like that. I think they're more fed up with his antics.
I
than
agree.
anything.
I am with you, buddy. Like, I think it's almost like they've pulled out their hair with this horse
Yeah.
and they said, you know what, he can be somebody else's
Yeah.
problem, because, you know, they're dropping him all the way down for 7,500. And what's his worst enemy? Himself.
He is, whether
His
it's here or the
nerves.
gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't like that
I
last
know.
year. It's just this year, right since the beginning, he's come over, you know, just a mess either in the paddock. He's too keyed up, and then, you know, he'll get himself scratched at the gate.
Yeah.
He's been scratched at the gate
Yep.
at least twice this year. He's a really frustrating horse. So they're going to put the blinkers on, and they're going to switch up and give Raffy a shot with him here today. And Raffy's kind of known for some of these troubled horses, you know, just horses with some funny antics, especially nervous ones. I think about that Chickadance horse that Raffy kept working with.
Just Pray.
Just Pray, and, you know, it ended up working out,
Yep.
but it took some time. So, you know, maybe he gets along with these kind of guys that have these sort of issues. But I went to Big Baby Henry on the drop here today. You get Kibbe and Phil Hall, who have teamed up for some nice wins over the season. Last year was, I think, a better year for this outfit, but maybe they'll get going here in the back half. I like the drop here for 75. It's an all-time low for this one. I missed him, unfortunately, the day that he won on August the 23rd, but I was all over him leading up to that. So I'll go back to him today. Then I'll use the 5. The 5 is Magic Slips, who ran a great race last start out.
Sure did, and right back in for 7,500. And it's very rare that we see Ernie have a computer hacker clocker reports. And what we mean by that is this is computer hacker the horse. It has made it onto the clocker report, but computer hacker is a low-end claimer. Like, rarely does Ernie pick horses like this that will make it onto the clocker report. And this one's a good price, odds of 12 to 1.
Well, I guess he worked good, and he did. On October the 19th, he worked in 48. It must have been impressive enough that he decided to include the horse. I thought maybe the 8, you know, Little Red Domey on the drop could be a player in the race as well. I didn't put him in the top 2 spots. And then I used the Norm McKnight dropper, that being Maximus Magic. Second start off of the layoff, just those fresh legs this time of the season and on the drop.
And we're starting to see the 40 horses come in, right? We've got a couple of them in here. Heat Merchant is one of them, and Fascination Street is another. So we're going to see more and more of those making their way to us here at
But I'm
Woodbine.
not sure how many of them we're actually going to see either, Jeff, because, you know, they either got to come here and be stabled here, because they can't keep going at Fort Erie.
No.
There's no training involved. So there's only really, I think, one place in Fort Erie where you can actually train. Well, there's 2. You know, there's an indoor track across the street. And then there's another farm that has a wheel that horses can go on. And I mean, they're fit, so I guess you can just keep throwing them on the wheel and shipping them up. But I wonder too, you know, and after being at Fort Erie for a number of years, people will come up and buy a lot of these horses to take them down to places like Mountaineer, Mahoning. You know, they fit in down there.
Yep, that's a possibility for sure. And we'll be getting any Prescal shippers at this time of the year as well. One thing that we haven't seen as of yet that we used to get, and I realize cost is everything right now, is we haven't seen a lot of Western Canadian people come.
No, you're right.
You know,
but this is a tough spot to
It
come
is.
to.
It is, and it's expensive to ship all the way from out there too. Let's get to race number 3. Topic is swap. Okay, what are we swapping in here?
Jocks, I believe. Yes, there's some jock swapping going on in this race. So we'll look for that, as some riders here are going to get on horses maybe for the first time, or they're being reunited with other horses in here. But here's a swap for you. This is kind of interesting. Valley Victory. How many times have we talked about Valley Victory now? And people have brought it up over and over and over again. This was one of those horses that really caught a lot of people's eye because the horse was like 20 to 1 going into the gate and then went off at a very low price, like 7 to 2 or something like that. Okay, so a lot of people have talked about that. And then we started noticing these Kettleson horses all of a sudden. And he's done quite well. In fact, he had a nice winner on the program yesterday with My Cash Factor, and he was switching riders there back to Fraser Abley, who had ridden the horse previously for John Ross. Now he's switching riders on Valley Victory. Cheyenne Kerr, you know, rode this horse to that win back on September the 12th, which was the race that caught everybody's eye because of the big price drop as far as like loading into the gate and then the price when the horse actually won. And then they tried the optional 10, the 5 starter, and either you got to bounce that day because the horse ran a lifetime high buyer speed figure on September the 12th or whatever. But now he's going to go to a different apprentice rider and use Zero Ford this afternoon. So since that race on October the 5th, the horse has come back to work 5/8 in 101 and 3. And speaking of people who have come from Western Canada, this is, I think, the only person this year who's come from Western Canada, right? Because I think about Tara Nagel, she came last year. Phil Hall, he came a couple of years ago now. It's been a long time since Drexler came over here. So this is one of the newest, Devin Gittins, he came last year. But yeah, Todd Kettleson is the newest member of the West Coast gang to come over here and do some interesting things.
I'm going to go towards U.S. Army Corps, who laid a bit of an egg last time out. Now, he will do that from time to time, but he tends to bounce back with better races. And with there being some jockey movement in this race, I kind of like the fact that his old buddy Daisuke Fukumoto stays aboard him here today, so I'm going to put that one on top. But that is a tricky 7,500 claim.
Don't toss out Wilberforce either. He came here last year from Fort Erie and he did really well. Remember, he came here and he won.
Yep, he's a one-time winner on the synthetic, but has hit the board on numerous occasions. So let's look at race number 3. So let's get to our next topic, which is off the turf here in race number 4. As we get set to go a mile and a 16th. And the good news is, for my top pick, I am not surface dependent. I like Hemlo Golden here. Ever Dangerous, do you think you're surface dependent, or do you think you're okay with racing on the synthetic?
I originally had the 8, 9, 10, no matter what. Like yesterday, I actually handicapped for main track. I assumed we were going to be off of the turf, so some of my picks had to change. But I'm not going to change them here in this race. The only thing I had to do was add a 4th horse because the 13 was scratched.
Right.
So I'm going to leave it exactly the same way and use Ever Dangerous up on top because the horse is working really well on the synthetic surface. This horse has put up some really fast clockings getting ready for this race here today. And most recently, October 10th, 46 and 4, and then October 17th came back and worked another smart half in 46 and 4 again. So I think all signs point to yes. And don't forget, this jock trainer combo had a really good week last week. So I'll use that one over the other Drexler runner, that being Walter Milad, and then I'll toss in Hemlo Gold from the McRae outfit, who was second last start out. It's just those two workouts really do stick out.
Speaking of sticking out, these two gentlemen stick out as well. Hemlo Gold and Mr. Robert Geller. Golden Eye, says Mr. Geller, and there's a look at Mardonna and Hemlo Gold. And Hemlo Gold has done very well. Remember, earlier on this season, this was the horse that had like 15 claims in, and then was so off form. Well, Donnie's kind of figured this guy out because he's back on track now, I'll tell you. He's run.
There was something about this guy that everybody wanted this horse. And I believe it was like a 15-way shake that first time for $15,000. And then I still think they shook again for $25,000 as well. But, they had to wait for the time for the horse to be eligible to go back in for 25 in order to get the win. So, he's a 25 claimer.
Topic number 5, Held On. That could be a baseball big lead, a hockey big lead, a horse racing big lead, where you just managed to hold on and get all the cashola. 7/8 we're going to go here, 7,500 claimers, non-winners of 2. And speaking of holding on, I've been holding on with anticipation of the replay machine being fired up. And you are going to press play for us here in a couple of seconds.
So I don't have trips like I had yesterday that I wanted to show you that really did work out. One gave us a winner for $11. The other one gave us Juicy Hannah in the last race. Hopefully you played that horse to help you out in behind Nikita's Gem. The replays I'm going to show you today are winning replays, but the reason I'm showing you these replays are because simply I think these are key horses on today's program that can come right back and win again. And this is Shinigami, who won for conditioner Norm McKnight back on October the 4th under Austin Adams. Austin, unfortunately was injured, I would say a couple weeks ago now. He took a week off, but he was really getting into some serious momentum before he got injured. This horse could get him back on the bandwagon here today with a nice win because it's a maiden score for $15,000, beats Super Vinny. I think you're picking Super Vinny on top on the Sunday program. He's in the first race on the card. But, this was for 15, and what do we do here? This is classic, horse 101, how to read the condition book. We're back for 75 non-winners at 2. It's a winning move here with Shinigami, so I'll use the 1 up on top over the 3. Nice to see this barn get into the winner's circle yesterday. I did not think Diva's Ghost would be the one to get Gittins back back rolling again. But Guard of Honor, it could be a player. Same could be said for Super Iconic. It's not really a tough race, Jeff. All Shinigami has to do is leave the gate good, make a left-hand turn, and we should be home and cooled out.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that about Devin Gittins, because you're right. Like, that was kind of the least preferred, the two Devin Gittins horses last night. But I find all sports, that's the way it goes. When you get into a cold streak, like if you're a hockey goal scorer, like you haven't scored in 10 games, it'll go off your butt or off your head and in. Like, it'll do something like, you won't score a pretty goal.
Yeah,
it'll be ugly.
No.
But it'll get you back on track.
It'll get you back on track. And he owns that horse that won yesterday. So that was
help.
very, very good to find that one win under Juan Crawford.
Yeah, race number 5. You know, very interesting. For a 75 non-2 to only have a field of 6.
I know. You'd think there'd be more.
Very, very unusual for this time of the year. Let's get to race number 6. We're going to drive on by with race number 6 in here, and we're going to race 7 actually. Pardon me. So race 7 we're going to drive on by race 6.
That's right.
And we're going to get to race number 7. I'm always doing that. I'm always going to the wrong races. Okay, so we got a bit of a rematch in here between Chambers and Pinboy. Pinboy got the better of Chambers on September the 1st, and then Chambers came out of that race to win, whereas Pinboy had to face winners for the first time and did quite well. So what do you make of the rematch that we have here coming up in this
It's the
spot?
same thing, Jeff. Like, I have the replay for you for Chambers just so you can see how he won that race back on September the 26th, and he won it so easily as the favorite, winning for $25,000. Now, that was the second time that the horse had competed off of the layoff, you know, and he used to be a maiden special weight candidate, and then, you know, of course, it came back for $25,000. And again, I just like the placement here today. We won against maidens for a quarter, and we are reading the condition book very well. We're coming back on a 15 non-2 in a spot where we could win. So I think this is, like I said, these two replays I showed you are, I think, horses that could be keys for you in your handicapping today. Just watch how easily this horse gets it done. I do like what Renee's doing, dropping here
100%.
from $25,000 into $15,000. I love it. But I'm just, you know, it's one of those things where you pull up the overnight and you go, darn, that's who I'm in against. So, you know, I think she's a player in this race, Renee's horse. Sorry, he's a player, Pinboy, but Ride for the Purse should be considered as well on the drop from $25,000 into $15,000 with Ford back aboard.
So lots of us go into wars. Number 4, that being Chambers in here. This is the Jackpot High 5 finale. We have a field of 9 that will line up in the starting gates, and again another 40 Invader and Arami's Spitester on the outside.
Another private purchase from Kevin's farm.
Yeah. Listen, Kevin's got so many horses, and you know, at this time of the year, you gotta make way for new stock for next year.
Well, and for a barn like the Danny Wills outfit, which is a small barn, his wife, I can see, Jeannie, she owns the horse. This would be a nice horse for next year for Fort Erie.
Yeah, they finished second in a $20,000 pot the other day.
There you go. Yep, and they got all sorts of conditions that they can play with next season. So I could see this being one that they bought as a next year project, and a horse that can maybe get them through the fall here as well to make some Woodbine money.
And you got, my math is correct, another Fort Erie Invader for Julie Mathis. I wonder where she's going. She went to Mahoning, I think, last, and Mountaineer.
Yeah, Mountaineer. Yeah, you know, it's not far to go from basically the border to either one of those tracks. Right. You know, some people go and they stay, but Mountaineer is even one that, you know, I can remember, you know, we used to just load the horses up and go to Mountaineer, right? Like for the night, basically, and come back home again.
Let's get some plays of the day.
Okay.
Will Elisa go 4 for 4 with the plays?
Well, they're not scratched like yesterday.
No.
Oh, that's good. Well, I'm still up because I gave you an $11 winner yesterday, right? So I'm going to go back to Kettleson, and this one I'm making up Beware as well.
Beware.
If you remember, I made the other Kettleson horse a Beware horse yesterday, so Beware, Valley Victory. Key horse Shinigami, I showed you the replay from that one, now on the drop here, facing winners. Echo with Laughter, I like. That one's dropping and popping hopefully this evening, and I think the high 5 key is Chambers for you in race number 7.
You don't even have to change the last 2 on mine because they're exactly the same. And even the title, Drop and Pop for Echo with Laughter.
Imagine that.
And my watch lister is Hemlow Gold. I thought I had a really wide trip last time out. And I'm really happy the race moves on to the main track for that one. And my first time going is going to be Swiftlet, but I could use the Cheesewood horse as well. I'm surprised the 6 is still the favorite, King Rose. So that horse has been a bit of a Pac-Man. But we'll
Cue
see.
the sound effect.
And then you get the ghost. And it goes, whoop, 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 whoop. Ron's best bet is going to be Swiftlets, and Woodbine TV Prod going towards Wilberforce. That's not just to beat the fave.
Yeah, but leave that guy in your ticket.
Yeah, that's a good price
agree.
play. And Doug says Chambers for him coming up in race number 7 on the program. So that is a look at our plays of the day. Now, just to prove to producer Mike that I am reading the script somewhat today, we're going to take a commercial break. Okay. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little pick 4 that will start off in race number 4. The pick 5, by the way, yesterday paid over $50,000.
Crazy.
Race 1 coming up shortly, but first a preview of the pick 4.
Love horse racing? HPIBet.com is Canada's leader in online horse betting. Access thousands of live races from hundreds of tracks worldwide instantly. Enjoy the most advanced betting tools like AI Smart Picks and exclusive cashback rewards you won't get anywhere else. Join today and get up to $100 in free bets. Get the ultimate horse betting experience with HPIBet.com.
This is the biggest race in the world. Pinch me, I think I'm dreaming.
They're off, Midland Dubai World Cup.
And they're into the stretch.
Two of the great racehorses in the world. Giant Killer, by name and by nature. A race for the ages.
It all comes down to the Breeders' Crown, and it's taking place here in the GTA, which is now referred to as the GTHA.
Mm-hmm.
When did that change, and why?
I think a couple of years ago. Well, because Hamilton is such a big part of Toronto now, really.
I don't.
It's like a subdivision of Toronto.
So their first race gets underway at 6:30-ish.
Yeah,
and,
ish.
It'll be on Game TV, all the Breeders' Crown races. There's a look at the times that their broadcast gets underway. And with the 2-year-olds tonight, and then we have the 3-year-olds and older horses taking place tomorrow. Here's a look at the guarantees. And there's some carryovers today as well to spice it.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, there's a lot of big American horses, American drivers that are there at Mohawk tonight, but we have a great Canadian chance with Mr. Bojangles in race number 9. So that one is a horse that Doc Moore trains. Dr. Ian Moore recently put into the Hall of Fame here a couple of years ago. And Bob McClure is going to be doing the driving. The horse is perfect, a perfect 11 for 11. And his name is Bo, so how do you not like him?
Her dog's name is Bo, so that's why
Same
she's got a bit of a
spelling,
soft
too.
spot for that one. Yeah. So we'll see if that one's able to wrap up, you know, an undefeated season.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
I'm not sure
You know,
if
you're
they're
going for
gonna
almost
go
$1
to
million.
Anything else after this? This might be it. To wrap
Well,
up
he's
the campaign
2,
for him.
so I
Yeah.
would think. But you know, these cattle washes, like they're quite interesting. Last year when I did the London Classic yearling sale, he was was the new hot sire, right?
Yeah.
Cattle wash. So I mean, maybe the price goes up.
It's Brandon Boulevard. That's his main opposition, right? The 2 horse in that spot.
You got it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Andrew Harris, Dexter Dunn. Driving anytime Dexter comes into town. you
Yeah,
gotta
he's
watch
like,
out.
how would you compare it? He's like the Jose Ortiz of.
Well, we have
steroids.
the McDonald's,
Yes,
and they have Dexter Dunn.
that's true. And we have the pick 4.
That's right.
And we're very much looking forward to that. It's going to start off with race number 4 on the sequence. We're going to go 3 deep in here. I don't know if Walter Lada really wants to go 2 turns or not, but the Drexler Barn's going good right now. We'll toss that one in. Your top pick is going to be Ever Dangerous, and my top pick is going to be Hemlo Gold. So I always say this, and it comes back to bite me. I feel pretty confident about getting through the 4th race. And then somebody wins and pays 25 to 1.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly, exactly.
What about in race number 5, my friend? How deep are we going in the 5th?
Well, I think Shinigami's key. I do.
Well, we didn't
but
key
we
the
didn't key the
horse.
horse, just in case, because it's a Thursday, or it's a Friday.
Yeah, we actually went 3 deep.
We
We
did.
used half the field. We got 1, 2, and 3. We got the obvious
right.
ones.
All right, that's fine by me. And then let's see, race number 6. Well, we both like Echo with Laughter, but we didn't
too.
key this horse either.
No, in fact, we're
yeah.
going to spread a little bit because asking my name, I don't know if he's as good as he was earlier on this season, but we're going to use that one. We'll use Mannix, and we're also going to use
Country Living.
although I don't know about 7/8. And the reason why we could use a bunch of this race is because we have a key in the last race.
And that's Chambers.
Yeah, we're going to go to the Judges' Chambers for race number 7 on the program, going 7/8 a mile. Have you ever been to court?
Okay, well, yeah. But
For a traffic citation?
No, I actually was on one of those, had to go for jury duty, like to see if you could be selected for
Yes.
jury duty. And at the time, I was working for Fort Erie, and we were negotiating like a major deal with the government at the time to get them a long-term plan. And I'm like, I can't be away from the racetrack.
You got-
So I got out.
Did the judge call you degenerate? It's like, what are you talking about? You can't get away
No,
from
they
the
never even
racetrack.
called my number, which it's kind of like a raffle, right? And
No, I
then,
know.
yeah,
I've
done
done the
it?
letter twice.
Yeah.
And both times my case has been canceled.
Oh, yeah, no,
I
they
kinda
never
like
called
it.
my number, so I got lucky.
Anyway, $7.20. That's our
Yippee.
verdict. And race number 7. There we go. 3 by 3 by 4. 26 minutes away from the opener here. Just gotta make sure that we have nothing else in the script, or producer Mike will throw me under the bus. Nope, we're good. Says
There's
throw it-
blue sky behind us again. That's a good sign.
Any rainbows?
Not tonight,
No
buddy.
rainbows. Why are there so many
Oh, here we go.
songs about rainbows? And what's on
Oh,
the
boy.
other side? On the other side of this lackluster pregame show, we'll be a look at the field for race number 1 here from Woodbine. It's coming up momentarily. We have maidens going around 2 turns. What's coming up next?